What is new? Nothing is new. Right?
The world is getting worse and worse.
Everything is new. Everything is new. The world is getting worse. That's nothing new. Since the time of Adam alayhi salam. Alhamdulillah. What is our responsibility as believers? Number one, did Allah create us for this world? He created us and He put us to this world, yes. How is this world being described as by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala? This is something that the believers should concentrate on. How is the world described by those who love the world? And how is the world described by those who love the Akhirah? It's different. It does not mean that we have to give up from this world. But it doesn't mean that you have to enjoy this world. Like what Maulana Rumi is saying, have it in your hand, but don't keep it in your heart. It's different. Have it in your hand. You open your hand like this, it comes. Because your palm is open. But because your palm is open, it goes. Don't hold it like this, tightly. You hold it like this tightly, it cannot come in. Nothing can come in. Nothing can come out. Like this. Keep your palm open. So the rahmat, it can come. The blessings, it may come. This world may come too. Whatever your desire may come. But it should not be in your heart, it should go. Just like this. Just like the levels that they are. Taking and giving. Taking and giving. Mankind being a channel, conduit. Just a channel. For who? For Allah. We are not lords. We are not the ones who's giving. We are not the ones who's taking from ourselves. Nothing is coming from ourselves. But it is coming from the source and the origin of everything. The heart, nothing should pass through. The heart, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is saying, that heart, it is mine. That heart, it is my throne. That heart, if you remember me, Allah is saying, if you remember me, I will send angels to come down to the earth to look at you. If you remember me, if you have me in your heart, the angels will come to circle around you, because that heart, that one is the original Baytullah, the house of Allah. It is not that Baytullah that is physical. Before this world was created, where was the Baytullah? Before this world was created, where was the Baytullah? What is it that is in Adam alayhi salam that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is saying to the angels, and in reality all of creation, to bow down to Adam alayhi salam? Because that one, when he was just created, is already saying, Alhamdulillah. What is Alhamdulillah? Alhamdulillah Rabbil Alameen. Everything that is in the Quran, it is contained in this Surah Al-Fatiha. Everything that is in the Surah Al-Fatiha is contained with Alhamdulillah. Beyond that, Bismillah Sharif and other things, we're not going to get it for right now. So, Tasawwuf and Tariqat must be concentrating on this, to keep the heart to be clean, to keep the heart pure. to keep the heart clean, because it is the place that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is saying. Not physically. Don't think Allah is going to come down. No, not physically. He doesn't need that. But that is the throne of Allah. We've finished the Ramadan. What is Ramadan supposed to teach us? Not eating and drinking and not having relations. That's it. These days, they are teaching, they have a different agenda to teach the Muslims. Ramadan is all about that, eating and drinking, when you can. It's not concentrating on when you cannot. You understand? What makes Ramadan Ramadan is not the eating or drinking, it's not the iftar. It is when you are fasting. Isn't it? Why is Ramadan now? The concentration is on iftar. Togetherness, family, friends, warmth. Then how different is that from Christmas? It's all about family and friends. How different is that from Thanksgiving? How different is that? The agenda now is moving again to the dunya aspect of Ramadan. That is the dunya aspect of Ramadan. What is the spiritual aspect of Ramadan is when you are not eating or drinking. That is during the daytime, and the Taraweeh and the Qiyamul Layl after that. But the Taraweeh and the Qiyamul Layl, after that, it is secondary also to the fasting. It is not the most important thing. The important thing, it is the fasting. And the fasting, it is to keep yourself pure, because majority, they are still functioning from an animal level. So they only understand from that animal level, saying first, don't eat, don't drink, don't have relations. Okay, they can understand that. Oh, for majority, then it's already been very spiritual. But not eating, not drinking, staying away from all this, sick people do that too. People who want to be extra healthy, people who are on diet, people who are on different health regimens, they also do that too. What is making now the fasting to be a spiritual exercise? What is it?
Subduing the ego.
It is subduing the ego. It is stepping the ego. The nafs. It is stepping on the nafs and is saying to the nafs, now I'm going to control you. For 1 month in the whole year, with all the support that is coming, I'm going to control you and I'm going to tell you what is what. Because now, the fasting, to stay away from the food and water and other kinds of activities, that is just the lowest level, that is the animal level, that even animals, they do. And the Muslims know this is just the lowest level. What is it that is giving us now in Ramadan that nourishment, that sustenance, that food? Because for 1500 years, they don't really believe so much in Muslim fasting. So many times we're growing up, they say, oh, aren't you hungry? Aren't you thirsty? Aren't you afraid that you're going to get sick? Aren't you going to die? Now, unbelievers also discovering there is another life that happens when you're fasting. There is another different kind of a spiritual energy that comes to you that when you're fasting. Because fasting, it is the characteristic of angels. Angels, they are fasting in perpetuity. They are forever fasting. Angels don't need to eat and to drink. That eating and drinking, it is belonging to the animal self. Just by not eating or drinking, you're already elevating yourself now to a certain point. Not to say you don't eat and you don't drink, suddenly you become angel. It's not the meaning to. But you're discovering a different kind of energy now comes to you. When you're not eating and you're not drinking, you function better. You can think better. After you get over the initial period of discomfort, something else kicks in. Now what are you discovering? You're discovering now you are not under the tyranny of your senses. The senses, you're not under its zul, its tyranny. that people waking up, we all do that, wake up, what makes us to wake up? What am I going to have for breakfast? Correct? The day, the times of the day is divided into that, breakfast, lunch and dinner. The believer's day is divided, breakfast, lunch and dinner. It is divided by the prayer times. It is divided when you finish, you don't do anything that is related to this world, this dunya, and you're standing up in the presence of your Lord, and you're making the actions that is not even a human action. Because standing up, bowing down, making sajda is not human actions. These are angelic actions. That the Holy Prophet ﷺ saw on this Miraj and wanted to take it, to give it to his nation. That out of all the other nations of 124,000 prophets, his nation, in the prayer, they have the actions of angels. And in Ramadan, when you're not eating and you're not drinking, and you're staying away from things that your ego wants, now you are starting to have the attitude of angels. What is all this supposed to be for? Because so many people, they want to have attitude of angels, power of angels, all this or that. Again, what is it for? So many people, they want to have it, again for dunya, again for nafs. They enter into tariqat to learn some sort of magic, to have illusions and delusions, to have some sort of secret. Again, for what? What is your reason? To glorify yourself? Yes, many are going to do that. Many are doing that. To glorify themselves. Then what is the difference now between that one who says, I believe in tasawwuf and tariqat, and they enter to get all these powers, and the Wahhabi? What is the difference now? Because the Wahhabi says, Allahu Akbar, standing in prayer to Allah, but with such proudness that in reality he's saying, Allahu Akbar. If you're standing in divine presence, you're even afraid to raise your voice. So now, what is all this for? If it is not to make your heart to become more clean and more pure and more sincere, for Allah to be there, not our desires, not to wake up and to say now, what am I going to eat, what am I going to drink, what am I going to wear, who am I going to talk to, what kind of pleasures I'm going to seek today. Then in the Ramadan time, all that is stopped. Like this or like that, you're forced to think about your own weakness. Like this or like that, you're forced to think about your own weakness and the greatness of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So if the Ramadan is not making man to understand more of his servanthood and his need for Allah, then the Ramadan is not really doing anything to you. It's just an exercise of not eating and drinking. It is not making you to become more humble, your heart to become more soft, to understand how much more of a weak servant you are outside of Ramadan. If it's not making you to do that, it's not really doing too much. It's not. Because Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, it is only looking for that sincerity. Ikhlas, the sincerity. And how is a servant going to be sincere? When a servant realizes, understand that he's a servant, he's not a Lord. Now, as we said a little bit, we moved from Ramadan, where we're made to sacrifice half of the day. To sacrifice half of the day, to sacrifice our ego half of the day. Then there is still the iftar, whatever that you need to do. But we're moving from that month to the holy days of Hajj, where now the sacrifice have to be completely total. What is that sacrifice? There is the Qurban. What are we trying to sacrifice now? The Qurban. Who heard the khutbah today? What is the ayat of Allah? Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is saying, Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. The Qurban, I'm paraphrasing, the Qurban that you are making, the flesh and the blood, it is not reaching to Allah. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala does not need the Qurban. The animal to fall, the blood to fall, the meat, the flesh, Allah doesn't need it. That doesn't reach to Allah. But what reaches to Allah? What reaches to Allah? Taqwa. Taqwa reaches to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Now I understand. Taqwa, it is to remember Allah. It is to fear Allah. It is to understand that Allah's presence is everywhere. That taqwa, that reaches to Allah. How are we now going to make our taqwa to reach to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala? By cutting away, by removing all the veils that stops our taqwa from reaching to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. What is that? Worship of self. Cut them. Sacrifice them. The ego prevents you. Because the ego makes you to think only about yourself. Inshallah, if Allah gives us life until Qurban, this is how we should be approaching also. Otherwise, again, the Qurban, if you're not understanding the meaning of the Qurban is just going to be that. Cutting an animal to eat. All day long eating meat. You're missing the whole point. And if it's just that physical action, then people are saying it has no meaning. And Allah is already saying that physical action really has no meaning to me. But you have to do it. Because it is a symbol that what you have to sacrifice is your ego. And when you do that, your taqwa, your fear of me, your remembrance of me, it will reach to me. You will come close to me. Because 2 billion Muslims now, especially Muslims living in first world countries, their connection now to especially the Qurban, it has become nothing. Nothing. They used to say the Eid al-Fitr, it is a small Eid, and Eid al-Adha, it is the big Eid. Correct? This Eid is only sacrificing eating and drinking. This one is sacrificing yourself. Small and big. But when the meaning and the understanding it is taken away, people are not rushing and knowing the meaning of this, then it's just going to be a time people all getting together just to cut an animal, watch it die, and then later to cook the meat and to eat it. Then it becomes worthless too. Some people are saying, why we have to do this? Some people, they're agreeing, yes, this is animal cruelty. We shouldn't be doing it like that. Some say, well, it's not necessary now for me to watch it or to do anything. Let me just cut a check. And then just to give it, and they're going to cut it for me. And that's it. Because to cut is to feed poor people, so I'm going to do that. Or some say, well, instead of cutting, I'm going to feed the poor. Everybody now is going to interpret according to their own head. And their head is going to be filled with the nonsense that the shaitan is going to put through this Dajjalic world that is going on now. That's why basic ideas and understandings too, Muslims are starting to lose. That's why you go to the Hajj. What do you think happens to all those animals? Millions of animals now. You think those millions of animals that are being cut, that is a very important part of Hajj, because if you don't cut the animal, your Hajj is not accepted. Every single person. What do you think happens to all that meat? They give it to poor people. They ship it out to countries where Muslims are starving and they need. One of our Emirates saw a sign, just putting them, dumping them into a cave and letting them to rot, throwing them into a sewer. Because that is action. It says there is no hidden meaning in that. Just to cut means to cut. That's it. Don't say there's any other meaning to that. There is no spirituality, there is no life. Now, anyone can say that Allah is the one who is giving hunger to this world? Can anyone say Allah is the one who is giving poverty to this world? Can anyone say it is Allah who is sending suffering to this world? Are the Muslims first? Let's not touch the other ones yet. They have a place too, of course they do. Let's clean up our own house first. What are the Muslims doing with this? Oh, it costs too much money to refrigerate, mashallah. But you have enough money to make golden toilet seats, to make your whole airplane made of gold, to go spend millions of dollars every day, in the capitals of Europe and everywhere. But this is something that is so important to Allah, and it's so important to the Prophet, so important to the Ummah. You're not touching it, you're not doing it. Something is very wrong there. And we're all responsible for that too. Because we're seeing the Hajj through these eyes. Oh, nice umbrella they're making, give us shade. Oh, nice marble. Oh, nice, I like this because it looks just like hotel lobby, like an airport. Oh, I like this, Muslims say. Oh, I like this, that we have 5-star, 4-star hotels, that they don't have to go down to the Kaaba. They can only look, they can look from their balconies, from their rooms. There is a Kaaba and pray there. And look at all the small people like ants. You imagine you are standing tall, you see the Kaaba tiny like this, and people around there like ants. Tell me if you feel like a servant that time, when you're looking at that. Oh, this is logistical miracle. Oh, this is engineering. Oh, mashallah. So you'll be judging it with these eyes. Those ones who go to the Hajj, they are guests of the kingdom. Or are they guests of Allah? When there is lack of understanding, you're going to judge everything through these eyes. Not lack of understanding. When you don't want to understand, when there is that stubbornness there, and you refuse to see. When the arrogance is just filled up to your heart that you are fasting, but you're still arrogant. You haven't fasted from that. You are fasting, and you're staying up all night praying, but you did not stay away from envy and anger. Still. Stubbornness, you're still gorging on stubbornness every day. Then all that is never going to change you. You can fast for 1,000 years, it's not going to change you. So inshallah, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is saying, this religion, it is for those who think. This religion, Allah is saying, our revelation, this is for men of understanding. Those who are patient and who are running to understand. It is something that is going to be very clear. That time they don't need any fancy explanation. They say, just from the passing of the day and the night, they say this is a sign from Allah. Same day and night that everyone is seeing, men of understanding say this is a sign from Allah. People are looking for a sign for the skies to crack open, for the earth to rip apart, for the voice to come out. But the men of understanding, they are hearing Allah's commands. They are hearing Allah's words every day. It depends on how connected you are to Allah and His commands, and how disconnected you are from your ego. Inshallah, we pass Ramadan. Who knows what the Qurban is going to do? Some may have to go through some Qurban. Some may have to sacrifice. Some may have to give up from their everything. It is not we, it is not me or you who is going to decide. Allah is going to decide whatever that is necessary. Oh, I want this and I want that. You know what's going to happen? You may die the next minute. Where are all your wants now? This is important. That is important. If the angel of death comes and taps you on your shoulder, and you say, no, wait, I have so many things I didn't do yet, give me 5 minutes. And no, time's up. We're given only a very specific number of breaths. And how we use that breath, it is very important. Which is why, to understand your breathing, your breath, in the month of Ramadan, yes, your zikr, it will help you to have that life and help you to have that understanding the way that Allah wants. Not to waste your breath on your own worldly or shaitanic or egoistic desires. You're finishing your life that time. May Allah forgive us, inshallah, and make us to reach to the days of Qurban completely. May Allah forgive us for our weakness. May Allah accept our weak service, inshallah. For the sake of the Holy Prophet, alayhi salatu wasalam, Sultan al-Awliya, SahibulSaif, Al-Fatiha.